Sup, all day fans? You know, I'm still rep. Got the LAFD, Los Angeles Fire Department shirt on by the Chargers. The Chargers gave this shirt to me. So I want to thank the Chargers. I coached Little League for them, the Snoop and Hooch Football League, and I also want to thank the Los Angeles Fire Department for what they're doing. You know, they're out there, the true heroes right now. So let's break on to it. Let me give y'all my predictions for today's games. For two of today's games. And unfortunately, the Chargers were supposed to be playing today, and they're not. But hey, I'm gonna still rep. And my team, we got our first win last night, so I'm repping for the Chargers. That's all day. You know what I'm saying? All day. But yeah, it's okay though. I know this was a rebuilding year for the Los Angeles Chargers, and it was a great year, man. It was a great year. I thank God for Jim Harbaugh. I actually met Bud Dupree last night. I coached against his son was on the opposite team that I coached against, and I think Jim Harbaugh's grandson was on that team too, because I saw Jim Harbaugh last night, which was really cool. I almost like moved away from my team for a second and was about to just approach Jim Harbaugh and be like, hey, look, man, I just want to shake your hand. It was on my mind to do that, but I didn't do it. I just was like, you know what? Let's keep your composure. Let's stay focused on your team. Your time will come for you to shake Jim Harbaugh's hand. I did shake Bud Dupree's hand, though, Bulls fans. I did shake Bud Dupree's hand. I shook his hand. I talked to him for a little bit. Hopefully, he'll be back next season. I know Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh both said they want to bring as many people back as they possibly can. And Bud Dupree had a really great year. He had a great year. We should definitely bring him back, man. Teaming him up with some other pass rushers that we could probably bring in, that would be solid for the Chargers. But I don't want to go too deep into that. This is predictions. I just wanted to share a little bit of that. My experience last night. It was a great experience. But let's dive into these games. So today is Saturday, January 18th, 2025, and we got a great NFL Divisional Round action lined up for you. So let's dive into today's matchups. The AFC Divisional Round, the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Kicking off at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific Time at Arrowhead Stadium. The Houston Texans are going to take on the top-seeded Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, led by quarterback Patrick Mahomes, are aiming for their third consecutive Super Bowl appearance. However, they face some challenges with key players like cornerback Jalen Watson, listed as questionable, and wide receiver Mecole Hardman, doubtful due to injuries. But on the other side, the Texans with quarterback C.J. Stroud are coming off a commanding 32-12 victory over the Los Angeles Chargers in the wildcard round. Their defense will need to be at its best to contain Mahomes and the Chiefs' dynamic offense. So, yeah. Excuse me. But, yeah, I think that the Texans are going to lose this game. And I'm going to say that the Texans are going to lose this game. I would say probably, let me see, man. I think I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to put up 30 points on dang, it's kind of hard for me to. I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to win 27 to 23. I'm going to say Chiefs 27, Texans. Now, I don't even think Texans are going to put up 23 points. I'll say 27 to 19. 27 to 19, yeah. Chiefs 27, Texans 19. All right. We got an NFC Divisional Round, Saturday Night Football, prime time at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. The Washington Commanders visit Ford Field to face the Detroit Lions. Woo. Both of these on the road teams got some tough matchups, and I don't see either one of them winning. I will be completely surprised, even though I tell you guys every single day, in the NFL, there is no such thing as upsets, and any team can win any given Sunday. Any team can beat any team. Yes, that is all true, but it will be a huge failure if the Chiefs and the Lions are one and done. It will be a huge failure. Especially the Lions. If the Lions loses to the Commanders, I honestly don't know what excuse to give for the Lions. Now, if the Chiefs did somehow lose to the Texans, I could have an excuse for the Chiefs because you guys know how big I was on the Chargers, given that they are my team, but literally how big I was on them because how much faith I had in Jim Harbaugh. But if you guys actually watched the game, that game was actually a lot closer than what the score showed with the Chargers and the Texans. It really was just some costly mistakes that Justin Herbert made that actually gave the Texans opportunity to score. Whether there was a pick six or whether they had really good field position on a turnover for them to score. But for the vast majority of that game, the Texans just finished. The Texans, I don't want to say just, they finished the game, which is what you mostly need to do to win a game. You need to finish, because if the game is close and you finish hard, strong, and the other team doesn't, then you get scores like that, 32-12 or 27-18 or something like that, But what I'm basically saying is the Texans defense was superb last week against the Chargers. Both defense was just playing really well. The Chargers defense was still playing great. Like I said, it was just our offense kept struggling that allowed the Texans to capitalize and to score and to widen the gap and to come away with a win. But if the Chargers offense actually would had scored when they were supposed to, that game would not have even been close. We would have blown the Texans out. But our offense wasn't rolling. So that's another reason why I have so much faith in the Chargers, because I know Jim Harbaugh is going to work on that offense. I know he's going to get that offense completely strong and completely up to top notch. And he's just going to keep on making the defense more powerful and stronger than what it is. The Chargers is going to be a force to reckon with next year. They are. And with the Super Bowl, I think the Super Bowl is going to be in Los Angeles in 2026. So that's going to be something really good to look into. I'm going to have to go get those tickets. I'm going to have to go to the Super Bowl next year, But, yeah. But, let's see. So, my point for if the Texans, the Texans beating the Chiefs. So, my point with that is that if somehow the Texans beats the Chiefs, I can come up with more of an excuse for the Chiefs losing to the Texans, because the Texans' freaking defense, superb defense, they could probably just, like how they knocked Justin Herbert off his game. Justin Herbert had 3 interceptions all season, 4 picks against the Texans. I've never seen Justin Herbert play a game like that. Justin Herbert played his worst game of his entire career, and a lot had to do with that. With Justin Herbert being the quarterback, I get that. Being a high-paid quarterback, I get that a lot of people just wants to put all the blame on him. But if you really analyze the game, it wasn't really all of his fault. Football is a team sport, and collectively your team has to play hard for you to keep winning, especially for you to win a Super Bowl. It takes everybody to win a Super Bowl. So, the entire organization, a quarterback, not one quarterback is going to do it himself. One quarterback has never done it just himself to win a Super Bowl. The only quarterback I've seen close enough to do that by himself, close enough to it, was Tom Brady against the Atlanta Falcons when they were down 27-0, and Tom Brady just brought that team back single-handedly. But even then, though, for them to be able to have gotten there, the coach, the organization, everything had to have gone right. Everybody had to have done their part, even though Tom Brady, at that moment, brought that team back to win. But, yeah. What I'm basically saying is how the Texans knocked Justin Herbert out of his game for him to make critical, uncharacteristic mistakes against the Texans. The Texans could possibly do the same thing to Patrick Mahomes. We never seen that happen before in the playoffs, let alone in the Super Bowl. I don't even think I've ever seen in a regular season a team play such a great defense and knock Patrick Mahomes off his game where he just makes terrible mistakes consistently, like 4 picks or whatever. I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that in Patrick Mahomes' career. I've never seen that in Justin Herbert's career. So, if it does happen, it would be great for Charger fans, because we're like, okay, the Texans is actually for real. They destroyed and everybody can get off Justin Herbert's back if Patrick Mahomes comes out here and bombs this game because of the Texans' completely strong defense. So, it would be great if that happens. I'm predicting the Texans to lose, pretty much get blown out. But I would love to see them beat the Chiefs. I would love to see them knock Patrick Mahomes off his game. because so people can get off Justin Herbert, So I'd be like, look, Justin Herbert played his worst game of his career. Patrick Mahomes played his worst game of his career. The Texans defense is for real. It ain't nothing to fool with. And I already knew the Texans defense was already great. I saw what they did to Caleb Williams early this year, and their defense really hasn't really lost that much of a step. Well, they did play bad against the Ravens, but their defense has a lot of potential to play great any moment, at any time. They have some really solid playmakers. So yeah. So I can't remember what I said, but it's recorded. So I'll also put it in the comments. Not the comments, but the description. I think I said 27-18. I believe the Texans 27, Chiefs 18. So yeah, let's keep it pushing. So yeah, so we already talked about I was already giving you some emphasis on the Commanders and the Detroit Lions. Let's see. The Lions hold the NFC top seed. They have been aggressive on fourth downs this season. Earning head coach Dan Campbell the nickname Dan Gamble. Their high-scoring offense will be a test for the Commanders' defense. The Commanders, led by rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, have been the masters of the walk-off win. Yes, he has. He has been really crucial in critical moments. Late in the game, Jaden Daniels has been stepping it up, being a leader, being a clutch quarterback. He's been playing phenomenal. I'm not a Jaden Daniels fan. I will admit that I didn't think he was going to be all that good, but he is, and he's very good. He's great. So yeah. So look, securing several victories on the final play, the resilience and aggressive play calling make them a formidable opponent. So, like I said, I think Jaden Daniels is really good. I don't think he's as good as most people think he is. I think he benefits a lot from a really great system, really great coaching, which what player kind of doesn't, but only like the elite of the elite doesn't really benefit from, just coaching or the system. The leader of the elite quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, quarterbacks like that. But even Justin Herbert, I know a lot of people hate Justin Herbert, but if you see what he has produced on the field, and he has been able to at least give the Chargers winning seasons throughout his entire career, never had a losing season. And I don't think Justin Herbert has ever won 11 games of his entire career. I don't think he has. So he's working with less. I mean, he had his best coach of his entire career, and he's producing. He is improving. I think he had his best. I actually think it's crazy. I actually think Justin Herbert had his best season of his career. The numbers don't show it, but the volume of those numbers, it shows that why and how he had his best season if you watch the games. And also, but on the contrary, he had his worst game in the wild card of his entire career. But I'm just saying, like, quarterbacks like that, I think, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, even Matthew Stafford, those type of quarterbacks, they don't need a system or a coach for them to, or even weapons at that case, for them to really produce and be exceptional on the field. They don't. Now, a lot of people they're ready to crown Patrick Mahomes as the GOAT, when he wins the Super Bowl. But notice I don't contribute wins and losses as a quarterback stat to the extent that other people do. I do a little bit, wins, losses, Super Bowls, playoff wins. I do a little bit, but not to the extreme that other people do. Other people will just look at the wins and the losses and the Super Bowl wins and just be like, oh yeah, he's the GOAT, he's the greatest, he's the best. No, it's more to it than that. It's a lot more to it than that, So, I mean, a team can play really, really well and always be winning and always going into the playoffs, always winning NFC championships, even going to the Super Bowls. And the quarterback can be extremely average. Jalen Hurts, I like Jalen Hurts. I'm a huge Jalen Hurts fan. I like him. I think he's a phenomenal person. I think he's a phenomenal player. But he is not. He's not a top 5. He's not my top 8. He's probably just cracking my top 10 of quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts is a very average quarterback. Very average. In his earlier years, he was almost looking like he probably wasn't even going to play anymore. Like he wasn't going to start. The Eagles, what they do, they built a team around Jalen Hurts. They got him a good coach. They built him a really solid team, a really great offensive line. He's always had a good running game now. Not always in his career, but now he has a good running game. First was DeAndre Swift. Now it's Saquon Barkley. They got him A.J. Brown, got him Smitty, Devontae Smith. They've invested heavily for Jalen Hurts. But Jalen Hurts is not the quarterback. You can put Jalen Hurts on the Chargers. They're talking about, Jalen Hurts, all he knows how to do is win. Put Jalen Hurts on the Chargers. The Chargers barely making the playoffs. If they do. It's not happening. So, you guys got to really be able to really look deep into these games and look what the situation is, the circumstances is, and what the players, and be honest with yourself and what these players are actually working with. Okay? So, yeah. But, yeah, I like Jaden Daniels, but I just don't think he's as good as most people think he is. But to be honest with you, he's playing better than what I thought he is right now, would be playing right now. So, he could prove me wrong and beat the Lions, or he could just keep excelling and advancing, and maybe he can lose his offensive coordinator and he still produces. Maybe he loses a couple of targets and offensive weapons on his offense and he still produces. One thing I will say, he is a good quarterback. He is a very, very good quarterback, and he's only a rookie. I would have Jaden Daniels over Jalen Hurts, I'll tell you that much. I would have Jaden Daniels over a lot of quarterbacks in the NFC. I probably, the only NFC quarterback that I can think of from the top of my head that I would not pick Jaden Daniels over is Matthew Stafford. From the top of my head. If I'm missing a real top-notch quarterback, forgive me. But I'm letting you guys know that just because I'm saying that I think Jaden Daniels is a little overrated, and that I don't think he's as good as most people think he is. Don't think that I'm not saying that he's not good. So I'm just letting you guys know that he is really good. But, it's Caleb Williams. I want to put him over Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is a better quarterback than Jaden Daniels. But again, if Caleb Williams was on the Redskins, he will be doing much more. Especially with the fact, with Ken Kingsbury. You got to look at the coaching that Caleb Williams had. So Caleb Williams still produced on the field. He did. It didn't record in wins and losses, and he recorded to a winning record, but he produced. It takes a lot for one player to just win games. One quarterback to just win one player to just win games. It takes a lot. It's collective. It's a team. It's the ultimate team sport. Everybody has to do their job. So that's why I don't like the wins and losses narrative. You just automatically give it to the quarterback. I think it's a lazy analysis, and I think it's ridiculous. I think it's irresponsible to do that, because it's not all the quarterback that contributes to these wins, and it's not all the quarterback's fault if the team somehow loses. Now, could the quarterback contribute more? Is it more of the quarterback probably than the other players? Then yeah. Then we could discuss that. We can analyze that. But we're not going to sit here and act like that it's all Patrick Mahomes that the Chiefs win these Super Bowls. Because the last couple of Super Bowls, it wasn't Patrick Mahomes that much at all, really. And the reason why they carried them to the Super Bowl, it wasn't much Patrick Mahomes at all either. He showed up in critical moments. That's what great players do. He's clutch. He's competitive. But let's not act like that it was just only him that has done that. So, Andy Reid, that defense, the running game, you play complementary football a lot. Like, you guys pay attention to today's game. How the Chiefs are going to play against the Texans. They are going to run the ball more than they're going to pass. They are going to do that. They are going to play heavy defense, and they're going to run heavy with Pacheco. And if you look throughout Patrick Mahomes' career, Andy Reid always gave him a great running game, a really solid running, aggressive, tough running back, a running back that loves to contact. Boom, 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 boom. That helps the quarterback. And you know what else is a quarterback's best friend outside of a really heavy, great running back that can run between the tackles and pick up those 1 to 2 to 3 yards every single time he touches the ball, and he's hitting the defense instead of the defense hitting him? That's a tone setter. That makes your offense better. And then you got Patrick Mahomes back there, and then now you can throw the ball. You see what I'm saying? But you know what else is better than a running game for a quarterback? A running game is crucial. It's essential. It is vital for a quarterback to produce. It is vital for a quarterback. Hence, what happened with Justin Herbert? He has not had a really solid running game. J.K. Dobbins is awesome. I love him. But he has not produced on the field, really, especially in the Texans game, for him to really help out Justin Herbert. But you know what else helps? You know what else is the best for a quarterback? It's not an elite wide receiver. It's not even an elite running game. The best to help a quarterback. The best position to contribute to a quarterback is a tight end. A really great tight end. That's what really helps a quarterback. And then also you got the center too, but that is a quarterback's best friend. I think probably any quarterback will love to have an elite tight end over an elite wide receiver, over an elite running back. Elite tight ends, they help. They are the safety blanket. They get the quarterback out of trouble. An elite tight end finds the open spots. Will always find ways to get open. Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates. That's why Phillip Rivers was able to put up all those stats and everything. I'm not really a huge fan of Phillip Rivers, because what you guys do to Justin Herbert only in his 5 years in the league, that's what I feel like about Phillip Rivers. I felt like Phillip Rivers always showed up short in playoff games. Always. And he had a bigger resume, playing 10 plus years, and it was the same old. And Phillip Rivers had way better talent than Justin Herbert has. And he had better coaches than Justin Herbert had. So, I mean, they both, so yeah. But yeah, yeah. So we're gonna see, man. I'm gonna say that I'm still gonna say the Commanders are gonna beat. No. The Lions are gonna beat the Commanders. I'm gonna say the Lions are gonna beat the Commanders. I'm gonna say 34-29. Lions 34, Commanders 29. All right. So that's all we got. I really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Let me know how y'all feel about what I'm saying, what I said in this video. Let me know what you feel about the predictions, in the comments. And we're going to be back soon. I'll give you guys a recap all day, okay? Peace.